Hi, my name is Sahana J. Raman.
And I'm Emma Wilson-Evans.
And today we're here to talk to you about teen suicide and teen suicide prevention. Have you ever felt depression, anxiety, loneliness, hopelessness, or stress? If so, you're not alone. Every day there are youth across the nation that experience depression or thoughts of suicide. And recently, within the last several years, teen suicide and depression rates have seen an uprise due to many different factors. For our project, we decided that we wanted to set out to find what's contributing to these rising suicide rates and what is being done in our state to decrease them as of now.
We also, within the last half of our senior year, began to notice students at our own school coming out about their battles with mental health, and we decided that we wanted to discover within our school what stressors are affecting students' mental health, how are they coping, and what can we do to help these students.
Before we could delve into our action for our school, though, we needed to talk to professionals about what they had to say about teen mental health, teen suicide, and current prevention strategies. So first we went to Shauna Haidt, who is the program director for the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation. Her work in prevention is centered around the age group of 10 to 24, which is also the group that has unfortunately seen suicide become the second leading cause of death, just surpassing homicide and just behind regular accidents such as car accidents. She told us that from her work, she's seen how social media and bullying are both very big factors, in fact, leading factors that have correlation with suicide, but neither can be named as cause and effect.
We then went to Becky Lagenza and Hiram Ellis, who are directors and coordinators for the Ohio Youth Flood Prevention Network, a council comprised of teens from across Ohio that work to prevent topics like suicide for their peers. From working with youth from the council, they both provided us with what to look for, such as signs of depression and overall behavioral changes. They both also emphasized the importance of talking about it, like being able to open up and discuss feelings to close friends and family.
While our interviews gave us a good idea of what's affecting Ohio youth, the basic warning signs, and examples of current prevention strategies, we need to know specifically what our students were feeling. So we conducted a survey specific to the students at Olentangy Liberty High School.
From our survey, we had a sample size of about 110 students, and from that sample, we discovered that our students are dealing with more than they might put on. 88% of students said that their biggest stressor in life came from school, whether that be their workload, their grades, or just being at school in general.
Of that same sample, 57% said that parent and teacher expectations were also big stressors for them. Students were also surveyed about their coping methods, and while most reported healthy coping methods like listening to music, exercising, or sleeping, 13% reported coping methods like using illegal substances or hurting themselves.
A national survey of high school students conducted by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention found that 16% of students reportedly seriously considered suicide, 13% reported actually creating a plan, and 8% reported attempting to take their own life in the 12 months prior to the survey.
From our research, we know that factors that contribute to these numbers include things from drug and alcohol use, long-lasting mental health concerns such as depression, and also high stress levels, many of which were reported by our students at Liberty High School.
In order to see what kind of action we should take, we decided to look at the existing resources and prevention efforts. There is a wide variety of resources and people dedicated to helping teens that might be in crisis. One is the National Suicide Hotline, and it's comprised of a network of local crisis centers that are available 24/7 for free confidential support for those in distress. If you aren't sure of your local crisis center, their website has a map with a search bar for you to look up the nearest crisis center.
Another one is the Ohio Crisis Text Line, which works in a similar manner to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, just in the form of texting, which, according to Shauna Haidt, has been shown to be preferred by teenagers. One of the most recent resources is the Be Present campaign. This was designed by youth for youth and recently launched in September of 2017. The campaign focuses on how to be there for a friend while also being there for yourself as well. The website has many different resources, trainings, and videos of teens talking about the things that are going on in their lives and causing them stress. The goal of this campaign is to remind people that your presence is a present.
Another great resource for people that want to help their friends but are not sure how to is a phone app called Friend to Friend. Ohio is one of only 2 states to have this app, and it allows you to be virtually put in a situation of talking to someone who is struggling, and it allows teens to have practice with starting the conversation with their friends. Oklahoma is the only other state with this app, and it is used by an Indian tribe because, from what studies have shown, suicide rates are highest among Native Americans.
2 other hotlines that might be a little bit less known are the Columbus Suicide Prevention Line and the Franklin County Lost Team Hotline. The CSPL is similar to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline and the Ohio Crisis Text Line. The Franklin County Lost Team Hotline is a great resource for people who have lost a loved one to suicide and are looking for support. We decided for our action that the best approach we could take on this situation was to provide our peers with as much information as we could and to try to implement a gatekeeper training for our staff. Unfortunately, due to the timing of it being this close to the end of the year, though, we were unable to implement the gatekeeper training, but we are currently working on having the gatekeeper training for the school year of 2018-2019.
For our action, we created a flyer that contained the data we took from our survey, available resources for those who may be struggling, and included a helpful acronym that will allow people to remember how to reach out and help others.
We handed out these flyers during lunches and study halls, and quite a few people were shocked at the data that they saw when reading it came from Liberty's very own students, but said it makes sense that it's like going to a school inside of a pressure cooker. Eventually, it gets to be too much, which comes from a senior, Olivia Heimrell. As Emma hinted at previously, our acronym of choice was REACH, and this acronym is a helpful reminder of how to help others who may be struggling and encourages people to reach out and seek help if they need it.
The R stands for recognizing risk factors, and that is important to be able to identify in your peers. Risk factors are anything in your life or your friends' lives that might make them more likely to be at risk for suicide. Some of these may include mood swings, use of legal substances, or problems with home or school.
On the flip side, you should also be able to recognize the protective factors in your friends and in your life. These are the opposite of risk factors. They're exactly what they sound like, and these are the things that are used to help protect us and make us less at risk for things like suicide. Some of these may include a stable friend or support group, or positive coping methods, or a supportive parent. The next letter E stands for encouraging others, and it also will overlap with the next letter A, which is accepting help. When we talk about encouraging others, we want to support each other no matter what. If a friend is having a problem and you can see it, they're going to be more relieved if you say something to them, and they'll be more likely to talk to you, as opposed to shutting themselves out, which is what most people think will happen if they try to approach the situation. Encourage them to seek help if they are struggling.
Like Sahana said, A kind of follows E because the next step to that is accepting help. It's not always easy to admit that we are struggling and that we need help with something in our lives, and we have seen our whole lives that we need to be able to handle it on our own. There is nothing wrong with asking for help and accepting help when it is offered.
The C stands for community reformation. All this means is finding groups that are available to you, whether this be a youth group, a support group, or even a mental health first aid class in your community. If you're unsure where to find service for you, there are 137 youth-serving organizations across Ohio, and if you'll go to the website that appears on the screen and in the box below, you can find a service near you.
The last letter, H, stands for healthy habits. As we mentioned earlier, our survey demonstrated that many students have positive and healthy coping habits. Some of these include meditating, sleeping, reading, listening to music, exercising, or writing.
REACH is a simple and effective way to remind people of how they're able to reach out to others and talk with them about the things that are going on in their lives. Suicide is not an overnight decision. It's a manifestation of pent-up feelings of anger, loneliness, hopelessness, and more. If we reach out to others and we feel more comfortable with being able to approach them and talk to them about these subjects, then we destroy the stigma around mental health and suicide where we don't talk about it.
Ignoring the problem doesn't make it go away. We want you to remember that it's okay to not be okay, but what shouldn't be okay is to not talk about it when we are feeling this way.
Suicide is never easy to talk about, especially for us sitting here talking to you guys right now about it, and especially considering the impact that it's had on so many of our own students. This project allowed us to delve deeper into our passion for prevention beyond substance abuse, and we were able to learn more about the other side of prevention that focuses on mental health.
We are both very proud of the work that we have put in, and we are hoping with the help of Liberty Teen Advocates next year, we can put more of an emphasis on student mental health and put in a preventive measure to help Liberty so we do not have to have any more tragedies.
Thank you for listening, and remember to reach.